So in this video, we'll talk about some of the strategic barriers that sports franchises and leagues put in place to protect the individual teams and the league as a whole. So some entry barriers are part of a firm's strategy in general to increase their profits. Talking specifically about sports, in the 1960s, there were battle lines that were drawn in professional football were also with the network broadcasting. And so back in the 60s, you had the National Football League and the American Football League. And so the NFL would be on CBS and the AFL would be on ABC and then NBC. Today, the NFL licensed its broadcast to different groups of networks. So you'll have NFL games on CBS, ESPN, ABC, NBC, depending on the days, plus the different streaming platforms as well. And by doing this, it's a great source of great way for the NFL to bring a lot of additional revenue in. Now, in addition to that, having those agreements with the different stations also creates a pretty crucial barrier to entry. So the AFL survival in the 60s relied on the willingness of ABC and then NBC to pay for broadcasting rights. And then when you look at other professional leagues, WFL in the 70s, the United States Football League in the 80s, they failed. And a big reason why they failed is because they couldn't get the support from the major television networks, which really hurt them. Now, so with these sports basically signing exclusive rights with multiple stations, they stop other leagues from being able to start and then be on these stations that have a high amount of viewers, which makes it more difficult for competing leagues to have the staying power to be a serious competitor against the current leagues. Now, leagues can also create barriers to entry by strategically locating their franchises. And so in baseball, you have Major League Baseball, but you have the American League and the National League. Now they play each other, and it's really the same league under Major League Baseball, but they used to be two completely separate leagues. And in baseball, the American League found markets that they were able to enter because of the refusal of the National League to admit more than 8 franchises at the time. And so the National League limited themselves to 8 franchises, and so that gave the American League the ability to get into major markets and then build up their reputation to where they were able to compete with the National League. And again, eventually they all merged under Major League Baseball. The AFL tried to exploit the NFL's refusal to expand in the 50s by planning to have franchises in Dallas and Minneapolis. But the way that the NFL kind of stopped this was they realized this, and so they awarded franchises to those same cities. And so the NFL expanded and put teams in cities that the AFL was going to go to try to stop them. Now, the AFL sued them, but lost. There have been other legal cases. The Clippers had an unauthorized move to Los Angeles, but this is all part of just the basic idea that these leagues will try to put teams in major markets, because with major markets, that's where you get the fan base. And if new leagues can't get the fan base, then they're not going to survive.